welcome to Nadia's studio. Today I am sharing a spread for the picture book, The Traveling Book Goes to School. And here we are with Dawson and his family as he reads to them the traveling book. And I really like how this one came out. I had a lot of fun with this. The colors and everything were just really coming together in a way that I wasn't that anxious over. I feel they were bright and vibrant as I wanted them while still maintaining that fall color that we are still in. We're just about to get out of the fall section of the book. It does feel like we've been in there for a while because that's all the beginning section. But yeah, and I wanted it really to be bright this time around, so we do get a lot of yellow in with this, and I add a lot of wood and brown textures, which was fun. So yes, I have done this illustration before, but it was without the color scheme, and of course it wasn't in a spread back when we were submitting it for publishers. So this was kind of a do-over, but I already had in place what I wanted, and I really spent time trying to add in details around the house to give it more detail, more fun elements to have in there. So yes, I recall the baby being the biggest challenge. I think they're actually considerably older now, but I remember I did have them quite young in the original illustration, so I hope that translates okay. But yes, this is Dawson and his siblings. There's the mom character peeking in from the kitchen as he tries to read, and I think this is really good for kids to practice their reading with their siblings. I remember doing this for my younger brother, and it's a good motivating way and gives them a lot of sense of skill in it that they get to kind of show off to the younger siblings. So yeah, and then the chair back there, I do like. I played around with giving it some texture as well, kind of a wicker sort of chair. So yeah, we'll be doing a lot of fun textures and things with this illustration, and overall I'm just very happy with how it came out and how the whole process was actually turned out really fun. I was scared of it. I was putting it off for a long time. It was half sketched since months ago, and I finally had to finalize it, and I am pretty happy with how it came out. We wanted to include being able to see the original library that looks like a castle that is in the first book, and decided it would be outside the window in this scene. So you'll see it back there. Right now it's just sketched, but you'll see it more clearly when I go in to ink it. And I'm also happy with it. I think it's clear enough while being small and in the background. And so kind of just an Easter egg piece there. And it does remind me of kind of how it is situated for Charissa Bates. She actually has that little library in real life, and it's kind of out front near where they live, so they can go out and put in new books and check on who's picked up which books. So that just I take a particular satisfaction in that, getting to include it after spending so much time within the first book. Getting to have that little full circle Easter egg moment. This dog is super cute. He's just a huge fella in real life, and so I had to kind of keep making his head bigger in the edits or revisions. But yeah, he's just this massive dog. I don't think I even did him justice to give his size, but overall I think the look is pretty good. I think he looks like a big fluffy cuddly dog. Yeah, so let's see, we are in the painting stage, and so here I'm laying out the base colors. I forgot to tape down the page, because what it does when you lay watercolor on it, the water will make it buckle and create waves in the paper, and it will start to crinkle, sort of. So later I do end up taping it down, but it will be a little hard to get it scanned due to that warping. So my bad there. And yeah, and so here I'm kind of feeling out, placing the colors which I know will be in place. So I knew, okay, kind of brown furniture to tie into like we've seen in Dawson's room. Um, the yellow walls, the floor is going to be wood as well, because in the section, in the page where we see Dawson's room and into the hallway, I had wood floors. So I decided to keep that flowing into this section of the room. And so we kind of, then I wanted mainly some kind of oranges and reds for like decor pieces. I was nervous about meshing the orange and the red. For a while you'll see I keep debating what to do with these pillows on the couch, and I didn't kind of want to go blue. I could have gone green, but at the time I think I was a little worried about doing too much green. I think I was trying to stay very much away from Dawson's room, which I did a lot of green in, and I felt if I do add some reds, because I was also considering the curtains, as if I do orange on the curtains, it seems too much orange. I can't do green because it's right up against two greens, and so red felt like a good warm fall color, but then I needed it to tie somewhere else, and so that's when I decide the pillows would be a red, and I try to go very deep warm red as we layer and keep going into the process. You see kind of there's that orange blanket draping over the chair. The comfy chair up front is going to be orange. I keep kind of going over it because it never gets quite to the orange I want it to be, and the shadows never really stand out the way I wanted it to. But yeah, so kind of once I'm getting these, I can see for the spread, the flow of things, that things seem balanced as far as the main colors. I kind of start going in with the kids. Didn't matter too much what they were wearing. I did realize Dawson is still wearing his orange sweater after getting picked up from school. Most likely it would be a little confusing if he had a different sweater. There is kind of no indication, and if I did want him to have different clothes, it should have been a different, like a hoodie or just a t-shirt or something. So I was like, well, I'll keep the orange, but I'm going to make it a different orange than the cover over the couch. And I wanted Twisty to be peeking from his backpack still, so it's down there by the couch. And TB is the one who is getting red. So yeah, and so here I kind of am laying out those texture wood sections for the panels. I will go in later with actually a micron pen. Here I'm doing it with watercolor. And because it's so tedious and I rush it, I get these very bold lines instead of kind of sharp and crisp. And so while that does work and I did kind of like it, as I keep layering over and making the panels darker, I needed to do it again. And I do decide to incorporate a brown micron pen, and I really like the texture it gave, kind of just going over the already watercolor outlines. So yeah, I am happy with that. I think this page is, I think, my favorite. This is a 2-page, so it's a spread within the book, and I felt I pulled in a lot of good textures and did some enough with the lighting, nothing crazy, but I do fit in shadows into it a bit, so I am happy about that, to face the challenges I've been giving myself in regard to texture and lighting. So those are incorporated into this piece, and I'm trying to bring in the shadows around the kids where they're sitting. I think I could have made the shadows more distinct on them themselves. I actually may go in and fix that now that I'm looking at it. I don't know if I do that enough towards the end. And I was a little nervous to touch the kitchen in the back because it is quite small. I couldn't do too much detail, so once kind of the main colors were set in, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know what to do with the floor. I wasn't sure if I should continue with the wood floor. It felt like that didn't feel like the way to go, but I didn't want it to be just a straight floor. I couldn't think of kind of what flooring that would be distinctly. It's not carpet, so couldn't do that. And so in the end, I kind of add tiles, kind of last minute almost, to it, and I'm really happy with that because it still kind of keeps an extra texture, but also this distinction between the kitchen and this front piece where we are, and where it's like this nice setting where mom isn't really present and she isn't even helping or guiding with it. Maybe Dawson's brother might be helping him with some words, but mom really is just kind of watching over them and letting this moment happen amongst the siblings, and I do like that. And the dog is just napping or listening to a story. So just kind of I liked having that distinction that mom is over in the kitchen and not necessarily participating in this moment, that this is for the kids, this is for Dawson practicing and maybe of his own initiative, that he initiated this and gathered the kids around to check out the new books he got. And so yeah, I liked the idea. So that was just a little element I wanted to try to create visually. Yeah, so you see I kind of do the red with the pillows and the curtains. Obviously Twisty, sorry, is red as well. And you see I put off doing more markings on the dog. I do know at this point I checked the reference page, which is on my phone, so I had to stop it and check the reference again. And so I kind of knew the markings on his face, but I didn't see his full body, so I actually had to check with Charissa to see how much of the orange actually continued onto his body. And he basically has a big old patch down his back, so that will be added later. But at this point I wasn't sure what it was, and he is actually quite white, but I figured kind of light base I washed over everything with, that the lighting would create a little more yellow effect on him. I think it's a him, now that I think of it. Just such a big dog, I naturally think him, being that huge. And I do a little green carpet. I was putting off what that might be until I just couldn't decide. I guess I was still kind of seeing how well everything matched out with each other, if we had enough colors to balance everything out. And then it did seem the way to go, because I kind of wanted it to be orange like Dawson's carpet, but against the orange dog didn't seem right. And then it's too close and would break up the reds, if I thought so anyway, if the reds were pillows, the carpet, and then the kind of making a straight line almost across the illustration, and I didn't want that. So I like the little kind of curvature diagonally that the oranges create. I will be adding more orange to the cover here soon. I was just trying to make sure that Dawson still stood out from it. There we go. We are adding more orange, but Dawson, in contrast, his orange is a lighter orange. Where before I think visually it was brighter, it was closer to that orange, but I wanted it in contrast to it to show that it's a different orange. Oh yeah, I forgot about the plant thing. I was kind of debating if it was going to be a solid or give it a little design. So kind of has this pottery looking effect to it, which I do like. I do like what I decided to do there. The painting on the wall, and we have little kids' pictures, just little things to make it homey. Unfortunately, I'm not capturing it the way I have the camera angle, but there is a plant next to this TV. Oh, I was very proud of myself for incorporating a TV. I don't typically like include technology or things like that, and this is obviously an older TV. It's not like a flat screen or typically what we actually have in our homes nowadays, but I did want, like, you know, I was trying to find some elements and was checking around on Pinterest of things in a house, and TV was often there, or a computer or things like that. I was like, oh, that makes it, of course, living room, there would be a TV. And so I was proud of myself for making sure to include it, even though I felt a little intimidated by it at first. It actually turned out really simple. But yes, there is a plant next to the TV that I didn't capture in the process, which is a shame. And it also has kind of a little different pot I think I gave it a stripe. Yeah, okay, here we go. The dog, he's getting more color to him. I think I add that part and then I forgot exactly how far it extended. So I do check again and then I extend it even further and then I don't know fully how far it went along the tail, but I know it extended some off of the tail, so I do add some. And we'll go in there later if I need to add a little bit more if the full tail is orange, I'm not sure. And this orangey brown. Here we are with the kitchen. I'm laying a base color blue and then kind of as I did that I was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add tiles and then distinguish them with some greens against the blue. And I'm glad I did that blue. I see now that how the blue again is balancing the elements throughout the spread. So I do like that. And then again pulling in the greens because we do have a green kitchen, which I wanted them to be green both because it fit the color palette, but also we had a green kitchen in We Find Joy, the cancer book I did for Charissa, which is featuring her kids. And so again, this is kind of these are her nieces and nephews, and we are seeing more of her family in this book. But I did feature a green kitchen in that, where they were dancing in it. And so I did want to kind of a personal Easter egg. I guess you would have to read that book. It isn't necessarily linked with the traveling book, but we do a lot of cross-sectional kind of Easter eggs pertaining particularly to Charissa's family throughout her books. So that was just a little nod for me that I wanted it to be a green kitchen, and a little memory of We Find Joy. I really enjoyed working on that book. We went with very bright, vibrant colors because despite it being about cancer or a family member who is sick, that they strive to find joy every day. So that was a lot of fun to work on. And so, yeah, I'm having a little walk down memory lane right now. So there I put in the little tiles. Now I'm coloring them in. And yeah, I do like it. I distinguished the shadow there more. And we are just doing little touch-ups here. So I am really happy with the spread. And we will be going on to see more of the journey with the traveling book and Twisty in the next pages. We are going to be moving into winter colors. That should be exciting. And yeah, thank you so much for watching again. Do keep a lookout for the book, and you can find the first traveling book on Amazon. Once again, thank you for watching.